سبيل الدموع سبيل
The topic that we're going to talk about in this particular video, I'm kind of smiling, and why I'm smiling is because this one topic is going to make a lot of difference in how you see online communities and how you are going to do things, because these 5 no things while building an online community is going to be you have to keep this in mind. So like, you take a piece of paper, write them down, tear the paper, put it on the wall, or probably take a paper, write something, like print it out, put it on the wall, or just write it on sticky notes and stick it when you're doing a community or something like that, because this one video is going to make a difference in the way you are communicating with them. It's all about you. It's all about going to be you. How are you going to make that difference? What are the things that you shouldn't be doing? That's the reason, like, 5 no things while building an online community. You should know this and shouldn't do this. Got it? You should know this, that this is what I'm not supposed to do, based on my experience, based on the things that I have been seeing and how it shouldn't be. 5 things. Point number 1, always selling. Selling is a part of the game, but not always. Selling is a part of the game. You are selling because you want people to experience things, because you are confident that they are going to get results towards the end of the day. But the goal always shouldn't be selling. Point number 1, though you want to make money, that's great, and you are confident selling, another great point, and you also know that they are going to get results, super cool. But the point need not always have to be like, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. If you don't buy this, it will happen. If you don't buy this, it will happen. They know that. They actually know, your audience knows, your all members know it. They probably don't have funds to afford that. They probably cannot afford that. They probably have like 10 things they already want to take care of. But when they invest in that particular level that you're selling, probably that particular thing that you're selling, they want to buy. But then now that you kind of create that scarcity, create that urgency, what happens to them is they feel bad. They go into that guilt burden phase. Now when they get into that guilt burden phase, what happens is they will do so different things which they are not supposed to do, and get inside that particular thing, or the mastermind, or whatever you're doing. So the goal need not always have to be selling. People should know that you're selling. You don't force them. You don't make you don't make a compulsion. You never do that. Point number 1. Point number 2 is hammering members down for taking actions. Taking action is the most important, most critical point of everything we do in life. But we should never hammer people down. Never do that. Now, why do I say that? Because I had a close friend, also happens to be a member, not of the Academy of Arts and Scientists, someone that I trained. A very close friend, a very close member. She once, I don't take calls. That has always been me. I get overwhelmed in the first place. Plus time clashes and stuff like that. So that person says, Fazal, I want to speak to you. That day, I had no idea what happened. I was like, cool. It was a very weird timing. I was like, let's talk. I think probably I was going to sleep. And I was like, let's talk. And I spoke to her, and she was crying on the phone, saying, Fazal, am I not good enough? Am I not doing the right in the right direction? Why can't I launch my product? Why can't I launch my business? I know so many things, but I am not able to launch a business. I am not able to launch an online community. I am not able to launch an online business. Am I not good enough? Am I not great enough? I was like, hey, shush, what happened? Tell me what's wrong? Why are you crying and saying these things? Like, what happened? I was so curious, and when I hear people crying, I get terribly... It feels weird to me, one, and second, I go emotional all the time. It's like, hey, why is that person crying? Like, what damaged you so bad that now you're crying? Like, I go to that place, I kind of feel what that person is feeling. It's like, let's figure something out. So that person said, a coach, a community. I'm not blaming anyone. Then she said, a coach in a community, like, completely different. The salesperson of that particular community called her up. Now she wants to close this member, for convincing that member to get inside to that community. Got it? That was like that. There was a coach. The coach has got a sales team. The sales team's person is calling my friend, a member that I know, trying to convince her to get inside that particular community. Got it? That's the context. Now, what the salesperson, was doing was hammering her down and convincing her to get inside the community. Hammering down in other words was she was making my friend kind of uncomfortable. It's like, what have you been doing in life? You have to make choices. You have to make decisions. How long will you not be making money? If you don't launch a business today, I don't know what courses you are in part of, but then if you are not going to launch it, how long are you going to do? How long you're going to do? Now, when you're saying those terminology, when you're using those terminology, when you're talking to someone who is already going through stuff and also working on a pace, and when you keep on hammering them down over and over from different angles, the goal being selling them. Second, when you hammer them down, you are damaging their self-confidence, their self-esteem. One thing that personally, I don't like people calling me like, you're good for nothing, because that's one word that I have been hearing for the whole life. And when you're using those terminologies, and sometimes you're pushing your own students / your potential clients into a state where they are very scared to go. They have been through such challenging times, and you just triggering super stupid stuff in a way and making them feel guilty about things, and now you're pushing them so bad. Probably you're going to make money. You're going to make money because now you have convinced them in a way that they are guilty of what they're doing, and now you are going to provide the solutions. Now, when you do that, what is going to happen? You're going to get your money, but they are damaged now. We don't want that. Part number 2, hammering members down. I had one more experience to share, but this example went too far. Third point, we don't rant people. We never do. When you're hammering members, you go into the state of ranting in a way. I know one good, probably well established person that I personally know. When he gets on stages and when he does speaking, and when he talks about so many cool things, he starts to rant. We don't have to rant to people, because look, people are already going through stuff. You make them understand. You share your points. You give your feedback, but not in a negative way. Be on the positive way. You can actually make an impact being on this way. But when you're on the other side of the fence, it damages people. Probably people are going to repel. Fourth one is following up with people. You follow up. I have cold messages people, like I have cold calling. In other words, cold messaging. I have messaged. How do I put this? Cold calling is right. Cold messaging. I have cold messaged people, and never used to get the responses. Few of them yes, few of them no. But whenever there is no response to someone, you just don't leave those people away. You message them. You talk to them. How are you doing? Hope things are great for you. Hope things are great at your end. Like it would be great to hear from you. What's wrong? What's happening? I'm there for you when you need it. Like, you keep on following them in a very assertive way, not aggressive way. For example, if that person messages you back, if that person replies to your message back, if that person responds to your email back after like 6 months, you don't say like, now you got time to message me. Big people stuff like, you don't do that. It's like it's nice to hear from you. Like, what has been your life? Like, how can it be of help? Like, thank you so much for messaging me back. You be on this side of the fence where you are not ranting people. You are not going negative. You are not dropping those negative bombs on them. You are not being aggressive in a way, but assertive in a way. You're confident in what you're saying, and also you're putting the word out. So like, it's genuinely nice to hear from you. Thank you so much for messaging back. These types of words, when you use these terminologies, they feel like, I did not message this person for 6 months, and even now this guy is like so great at receiving and replying to my messages. Now there's like immediately a bond build. We work for bonds and long-term relationships. That has to be the goal. The fifth point is breaking your consistency. We never break our consistencies in the weekly calls that we do, in creating products, in launching something. When we have a community, no matter what happens, no matter what happens, we are not going to what happened to huh? We are not going to break the consistency of our weekly calls. That's like an oath you can take the moment you have that first members. Like you say, we are not going to we are going to have these calls on a weekly basis. It's inside the calendar. It's like nothing can change that. One of the greatest mistakes that I did was, and this is like a personal experience that I've had. I launched my like I had my first ever community call for the Academy of Artists and Scientists on 8th of August. I did those calls for like couple of months, like 2 to 3 months, and as I was sick, I broke the momentum, and I just did not did sessions after that. It went for a couple of months that I not did sessions. Like the habit was broken, the momentum was broken. Then what I started to do, I started creating content and messaging them. I started messaging like, where are you inside the journey? Now that there has been like weeks of disconnection with the weekly calls, what happened? They stopped responding to my messages. They stopped consuming my content. Probably they might have found someone else. Probably they got disconnected with the way I was doing things. So once you break a consistency, it's really hard to get the consistency back. You can apply this point to anything that you're doing. 5 things. So in this particular video, we have discussed 5 no things when we are building an online community. Hope this lands. Hope you're able to understand what I'm saying, because if not today, tomorrow you're going to have a community. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you're going to have a community. If not day after tomorrow, probably in a couple of weeks or months, you are going to establish your own community. And you being the leader of your community, you being the head of the community, you being the chief of the community. These are the mistakes that I did. You do not have to repeat these mistakes. Now that you know these things, make your own mistakes, learn from your own mistakes. Don't repeat these mistakes, because we are all on our own journeys, and we make mistakes, we learn from them, we kind of share those experiences, and we kind of fix those things and kind of move forward. Having said that, thank you so much for being a part of this particular video, and I am going to see you in another video.
يسعك الفضاء الرحيب الفسيح سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح تنهدى يا صاحي كي تستريح